Hey guys, it's Marvin, Kevin, and Martina. Today we are going to be talking about what to do before you get your bird, how to pick out your bird, and what to do when you get home. I am so sorry I didn't post for like 2 weeks. I was out on vacation. Didn't have time to post at all on vacation. So let's just get into this video. So before you get your bird, always make sure this is what you want, because these pets are years of commitment, and it is just horrible to get a bird and just throw them away on the side of the road. Just kidding. But it's just horrible to give them away after you have them for so long, because they're bonded to you, hopefully, and then you just kind of get rid of them, you know? Imagine how tragic that is. Like, you wouldn't do that to a kid, would you? You have to make sure you're committed. Then you want to have to make sure you have a good cage set up with all sorts of toys and perches, 3 bowls for water, chop, and pellets. It also depends on what kind of bird you're getting, but you have to make sure what cage sizes you have. In bar sizing, you always want to make sure that you are getting the right sizes with that. And then you have to have food and stuff like that. But yeah, just make sure you're ready for your bird and everything will be great. So when you are looking for a bird, try to get them from like a breeder you can adopt, or there are some Facebook groups of people who breed and then they sell. Just make sure it's a good breeder and not just some crappy one, you know. Getting them from stores is usually like just a bad idea. Like all those budgies at like Petco or PetSmart, they're just bred for money. Like, they don't spend any time. They can just be poorly bred, you know. They don't have any time spent with them, so you have to tame them yourself, and sometimes that can be a little tricky. Yeah, make sure you're getting it from a good place. When you are gonna get the bird, make sure you connect with the bird, and you want to make sure you guys just get along, and you do want to make sure that this is the right bird for you. Try to make sure that they are tame. They don't have to be. You can tame them yourself. Try to make sure you get the nicest bird there, because you're gonna have to do better bets with that. Getting hand-fed birds are also really good in buying birds, because then they're already used to people and you know what you're gonna get better with that, because they're already used to humans and they will just be nice to you, hopefully. Sometimes they aren't really good to others because, you know, they're one person, which that is normal in birds, you know. They're one person that they like and they don't really care for others. But yeah, just make sure you connect and you know that this is the bird that you want. When you want to get home, what you want to do is put them in their cage, let them get used to the area. When I got Kevin, I put him in his cage and he wasn't really scared at all. But when we first got home, he was like kind of flying around the place because it was scary getting out of that carrier. He's flying around, just acting like a maniac, and then we had to grab him and put him in his cage. That sounds bad, but yeah, we had to get him in his cage just to get used to the area. We have them in our like busiest area, which that is good. Put your cage in a busy area in the home so they can get used to everything and they can know your routine. They are social, so they will want to be in a place that you are if you don't have time to at least have them out. So once they are ready to get out of the cage, then just put them in an area, not stressful either, because you don't want to stress them out, because you don't want feather plucking, right? We have a stand that we just played with him on. He was already kind of used to us, so we just kind of put him in his cage for like an hour or 2, and then we took him out on his little stand, and we got to connect with him and play with him. He got used to us and we bonded for a little bit, and he was pretty used to the house already. But if your bird isn't really nice and tame, you kind of have to spend more time with the cage like sitting next to the cage, putting your hands around the cage. If your bird isn't used to anything, you just want to put their cage in there and have that in your area. And then once they get used to that, just kind of sit around and do things by the cage, because that will just kind of get them used to you, like understand your presence and what you're doing. Just putting your hands around the cage, see how they react to that. You can just have them like walking around the cage, doing stuff around the cage, stuff like that. When getting a bird, you have to make sure that you're ready for this. Do not get a bird if you just want them to talk and they're cool. You want to make sure you are committed to them and ready for them in your state of living, because sometimes people just get them and then get rid of them, but they are one of the most rehomed pets out there. Nobody knows what they're getting into, so it's good to research. Pick out your special bird, the one that is special to you. You will get along. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video next week, I promise. But yeah, bye. You know, taming is a whole different other video. Good to go. I will see you in